Hello, my friends. It's William with the Grand Duke Dmitri Diary series, and I have to apologize to Finnish people everywhere because I botched my Finnish history somewhat yesterday, talking about General Mannerheim, who became Marshal Mannerheim, and his triumph in 1918, not over the Bolsheviks, but over the socialist movement, I guess, in Finland, and I'm going to botch it again, so I should just stop talking now and refer you to the Grand Duke Dmitri Diaries Facebook page. Completely open. You don't have to request to join, and our Finnish viewer, correct this, Laura, wrote some really interesting information in the comments to the video for the 26th of March. So have a look at that, and boy, I still would love to have seen a conversation between Dmitri and General Mannerheim on the golf course there, and I wonder if Mannerheim kind of gave him the brush off, and that happened to Romanov Grand Dukes. You know, they were in exile, and they weren't taken terribly seriously by leaders in other countries, and so there was one occasion in 1920 when Dmitri was really given the brush off by Winston Churchill, which I think caused some hard feelings that you can see even in his diary entries of 1940. But anyway, we should turn back to the matter at hand. Our recap for yesterday is basically the Mannerheim encounter, and then they took a drive somewhere, didn't they, to Cap Martin, which would be important to Coco in the future, not to Dmitri. And that was about it. Another early night that they had, and another dinner upstairs in their rooms, his or hers, I don't know. So the cast today, well, we have a certain man called Slovitsky, who was obviously whom was known. No, Dmitri knew whom Dmitri knew. Oy. But doesn't tell us anything about, and without any first name or patronymic, of course, I can't really track him down. But he wasn't on the level of a Mannerheim for sure. Okay, so we're up to the 27th of March, 1921. It's a Sunday in Monte Carlo, and Dmitri and Coco are still staying at the Riviera Palace. I went golfing in the morning. This time I simply went to play with my pro. It went a little better, but of course, I'm still very far from perfect. I went back to Monte Carlo around lunchtime, took a bath, found Coco in the garden, and had lunch with her upstairs. Afterwards, we took a drive in a rental car. We went as far as Nice, taking the high road, and returned by the low road. It was very nice, but also rather cold, and it even rained a little toward the end of our outing. We had tea at home, and then I did some writing. For dinner, we went to Orest in Monte Carlo, and afterwards went to the casino. We both trembled at the thought of running into acquaintances, but we didn't see anyone except Slovitsky. I won a fair amount of money. We got home around midnight, and after a rather long conversation, went to bed. Okay, as you can see, Dmitri has no problem with being a creature of habit like his father was. Golf in the morning, a bath, lunch. Yeah, the same, a drive in the afternoon. Apparently, Coco doesn't have a problem with that either, although we still don't know how she fills her mornings up until lunchtime when Dmitri is off on the golf course. This is funny when he says, things are going a little better, but I'm very far from perfection. Well, yes, if there's anyone out there, even Tiger Woods, who has a perfect golf game, then I would be surprised to learn it. But I'm sure he realizes that his game will never be perfect. It's a little bit of hyperbole. Okay. Yeah. Found Coco in the garden, which seems to have been a favorite place of hers when he returned. And then finally, he explicitly identifies with the Russian word for renting, that they have rented a car for their drive to Nice, taking in the scenic view. I have never been, but I'm sure it's very nice, as he says. And then he does some writing. That's another part of the routine, that the daily routine, but I managed to forget it. And I always wonder, I mean, the diaries are you know, as you know, he'll fill up a whole year's worth of diary spaces in 3 months, but still he spends an awful lot of time writing. I wonder if he was secretly writing a novel or something. That's a joke. I don't think so. And then they go back to the chic restaurant, to Orest, and then to the casino. They decide to risk it, but they tremble. They tremble at the very thought of running into acquaintances. I like that line of his. And then there's only this Slavitsky, who's not important, apparently. Well, Dmitri is living dangerously because he is a gambling addict, but he's managed to win a fair amount of money, as he puts it, and I'm sure that's helpful because he doesn't want Coco paying all the bills. I wonder if she knew about him, that he had a gambling problem. At any rate, they get home, it's late, and they have what Dmitri says is a long conversation, a rather long conversation. And this is quite the exception, because another part of their routine ever since they left Paris has been going to bed early, very early sometimes, Dmitri says. So, do they have a physical relationship at all? They must have. But there's this reference to the conversation. Well, there have been times in the past when Dmitri has used the word conversation as a euphemism for sex, but usually he makes it clear. You know, he signals with the ellipses and various things that he was not talking about a literal conversation. But this time it may well have been a literal conversation. They sat around and talked. Where is this going? What are we going to do? Maybe. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So what do we have next time? Well, a certain thing that they've been waiting for is finally going to arrive from Paris. I'm sure you can figure out what that is. And I think I see a gradual improvement in Dmitri's mood. Not that he's just, letting himself relax, but that he's actually starting to show signs of enjoying himself, instead of just being sort of non-committal about everything. So we'll see. We're very close. So tomorrow we're up to the 27th of March. We're very close to the end of these short entries for the moment. So the last one will be the 34th of March, so 4 more days of short entries. And then we'll be into one of the long entries, and it's dated the 15th of April. So he'll be doing his usual, where he jumps ahead 2 weeks. And I looked with curiosity to see where he would be writing that one, and not in Monte Carlo, but not in Paris either. So they are going to continue to do some traveling together now that the Rolls is there especially. And then we'll go back after that long entry, and we'll fill in the days between the 31st of March and the 15th of April. And in the long entry, we're going to find out more about the relationship and about Dmitri's thoughts and feelings. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.